Hi, Chillify. I'm ready to bring your stories to life. My sister-in-law, Yoon, was obsessed with the idea that a name influenced one's good fortune. She demanded that I give my name to her unborn niece. Yoon-hee, she said, your life has been smooth sailing so far. Let your niece inherit the remaining blessings of that name. Seeing my anger, she even tried to appear generous. Don't worry, I'll cover all the name change expenses, and I'll give you 200,000 won for your trouble. I immediately refused. Absolutely not. It's a great taboo for children or grandchildren to share names with their elders. It can bring terrible misfortune. My brother, Jae-hoon, hearing this, chimed in, if you change your name, won't that avoid the taboo entirely? Despite my vehement objections, my brother and sister-in-law decided to name their daughter Yoon-hee. The result was a devastating calamity for our entire family, leaving us with nothing but bitter recriminations. It's all because of her superstition, trying to borrow good fortune that wasn't hers. Now our whole family has paid the price. Yoon-hee, you're so smart and well-educated. Help me pick a beautiful name, will you? A name affects a child's blessings later in life. I hope my daughter will be as successful in her studies and career as you are. The moment I walked through the door, before I could even change, my sister-in-law, Yoon, pulled me down onto the sofa, showing me a pile of names spread across the coffee table. My brother and she had been married for 3 years, and finally, there was good news. Our whole family cherished this baby deeply. Even when she was only 5 months along, they made a special trip to Hong Kong to determine the gender, wanting to prepare everything in advance for their daughter. But as she spoke, my sister-in-law's eyes were always fixed on me. I was so caught up in the joy of choosing a name for my niece that I didn't notice the strangeness in her gaze. I simply clicked my tongue. Our niece will certainly be a blessed child. I picked up the paper, scanning names like Jia Han, Jia Wan, Jing Xian, then shook my head slightly. These names are too common. My sister-in-law excitedly agreed. Yes, I also think these names aren't quite right. I looked up in surprise. The sun must not be rising from the west today, huh? Before, if I didn't give in to her wishes, she could scold me for 3 days and 3 nights without stopping. Then she took a deep breath, flashing a bright smile. My dear sister, actually, I have one more name I haven't written down here. Yoon-hee, what do you think? It took me a moment to process, to even dare to believe what I was hearing. Sister-in-law, do you mean? My niece will be named Yang Yoon-hee. She nodded, still smiling brightly. Exactly, Yang Yoon-hee. I couldn't believe it. I pointed to myself, then to her belly. My niece will be named Yang Yoon-hee, then what about me? The smile on my face instantly vanished. I stared directly into her eyes, speechless. Noticing my anger, she picked up a tangerine from the table, peeled it, and offered it to me. Yoon-hee, your life has been smooth sailing. The remaining good fortune of this name, please yield it to your niece. Up until then, I'd only thought my sister-in-law was a little superstitious. Now, looking back, it was truly outrageous. Forcing a sister-in-law to give up her name for her daughter, all for some illusory good fortune. I silently placed the tangerine down, my face as cold as stone. Sister-in-law? Absolutely not. This name was given to me by my father. I dare not casually give it to someone else. I've lived for over 20 years, and I've only ever heard that children and grandchildren must avoid the names of their elders, never that an aunt should give her name to her niece. Yoon showed a hint of impatience but still put on a generous facade. Don't worry, I'll take care of all the name change fees and give you 200,000 won for your trouble, okay? Then she pulled 200,000 won from her purse, pressing it into my hand, forcing me to take it. My temper flared. I threw the money back into her lap. No means no. My resistance made her face flush scarlet. Have some compassion for my desire for my child. If Yoon-hee becomes successful later, she will surely be filial to you. If you don't agree to change your name, don't call me sister-in-law anymore. I looked at the woman in front of me, hands on her pregnant belly, constantly imposing moral blackmail on me. I felt nothing but utter disgust. Yoon, a child's future is shaped by their parents' upbringing, not by 2 or 3 characters. If a name could decide one's entire destiny, what would anyone need to work for? Just pick a name full of blessings and be done with it. She screamed back, enraged. If a name doesn't affect good fortune, then why won't you give it up for me? The air between Yoon and me was stretched taut, ready to snap. Just then my brother Jae-hoon came home, carrying a bag of fruit. His presence inadvertently diffused the tension in the room. Yoon quickly embraced his arm. Jae-hoon, you're home just in time. Your sister here is fighting with our daughter over a name? I couldn't take it anymore. I pulled out my phone and searched. What happens if children share names with their elders? Then I showed the search results to Yoon. C. Children sharing names with elders is a great taboo, likely to bring great misfortune. My brother angrily swatted my phone, knocking it to the ground, and pointed straight at my face. Just change your name and that taboo will be gone, won't it? My phone screen shattered, glass fragments scattering everywhere, reflecting my dark, gloomy face. My brother, seeing my ugly expression, softened his voice a little. Just consider it a small sacrifice for me, okay? In the future, Yoon-hee will be filial to you. I gave a cold laugh. Fine, I'll change my name. My brother and Yoon looked at me, thrilled. I then changed my tone. Then I'll change it to Yang, okay, Yoon, okay? My brother immediately frowned. With so many names available, why are you using my asterisk name? I shot back. Then why is your daughter using my asterisk name? When I returned to my apartment, I had calmed down. Yoon was uneducated and a bit superstitious, and I used to tolerate her for my brother's sake. But today, this was too much. I truly couldn't stay calm. Half an hour later, she texted me. Sister, are you home yet? Then she transferred 500,000 won with a note. Sorry, dear, accompanied by a few rose emojis. After that, she started sharing updates about the baby's kicks, as if our argument had never happened. I decided to test her. I sent her 2 potential girl names. Sister-in-law, see which of these names suits our niece. The chat window blinked continuously. I remembered the first time I met Yoon. My brother brought her home for dinner. Before I could even greet her, she pointed at my leg. Sister, shaking your leg scatters wealth? I looked up, meeting her smug gaze, and laughed coldly. Let me explain, sister. In ancient times, chairs were made of wood. Shaking your leg would make the chair unstable and prone to falling over, which of course meant losing money. The smile faded from her face and onto mine. After some strained conversation, I picked up my chopsticks to get a shrimp. She looked at me in surprise, then feigned regret, turning to my mother. Auntie, you'll surely be sad later. Her words left everyone stunned. She covered her mouth, pointing at how I held my chopsticks. Holding high, placing far. If my sister holds her chopsticks like this, she'll probably marry far away. My mother's face instantly changed. My family was very particular about daughters marrying far away. Leaving the province was already a great transgression, let alone marrying abroad. Auntie, these are ancient sayings, I didn't make them up. My mother pondered for a moment, then said, Yoon-hee, hold your chopsticks a little lower. My face was also displeased. My brother doted on her, but I didn't. I pulled out my phone and explained, they say holding high, placing far, so that children can eat more rice. You should read more books, sister. After that verbal spar, I fully understood her superstitious nature. I didn't like her myself, but because my brother was fond of her, we eventually became family. Half a day passed, and I still hadn't received a message. I decided to launch my attack. I think the first name sounds nice. My words were like poking a hornet's nest. My sister-in-law's mouth, like a bank loan, immediately spewed a barrage of messages. These names are all terrible, I don't like them. I only like Yoon-hee. What are you doing? Can't you yield a little for your niece? How do I know this name has good fortune? But you've enjoyed its blessings for over 20 years. Now it's time to yield the name. I'm telling you now, whether you agree or not, my daughter will be named Yang Yoon-hee. I didn't want to hear any more of her messages. I picked up my phone and replied, this name was given to me by my father. If you're jealous, ask my father to give you another name. Oh, wait, my father is dead. Do you want to go down and see him? My brother's name and mine are similar. Doesn't his also have good fortune? Why don't you let your daughter use his name instead? Before I could even finish my furious tirade, I was blocked. The next morning, a message from my mother arrived. Come home for dinner this weekend, dear. I was a bit annoyed. If it's about the name, I'm not coming, Mom. Please tell Yoon for me that it's impossible. Her avatar blinked for a long time, but no message came through. Finally, my mother called me. Daughter, why are you angry with your sister-in-law? The 2 words, daughter, from my mother's mouth stung me because she used to always call me Yoon-hee. But with a retaliatory mindset, I didn't hesitate to expose her. Why are you calling me daughter, Mom? Don't I have a name? My mother stammered on the other end, unable to utter the 2 words, Yoon-hee. After a moment of silence, she spoke again. Your sister-in-law likes your name, dear, just give it to her. A name is just a symbol. Listen to your mother, come home this weekend and apologize thoroughly to your sister-in-law. Next week, change your name and this matter will be over. Our family will be harmonious again, just like before. I was silent, unable to say a word. So, after I give my name to my niece, what will I be called? Mom, just pick any random name as long as it's not Yoon-hee. My mother thought I had accepted the name change and immediately began to give me all sorts of instructions. This weekend when you come home, remember to buy gifts for your brother and sister-in-law, dear. You're a grown woman now, you can't come home empty-handed. Your brother has been enjoying drinking lately, buy him 2 bottles of Maodai. Your sister-in-law is pregnant, so you can't buy her cosmetics. Book her a postpartum care center instead. My mother's outrageously biased words destroyed my already dwindling patience. Mom, do you know how much all that costs? Around 4 or 5 million won. My mother didn't care. You only have one niece, aren't you willing? Later, your niece will be filial to you. My internal thought was, given the current relationship between Seo-yeon and me, if her daughter doesn't pull my oxygen tube later, that's already filial enough. You don't have a boyfriend or children now, and you earn so much money, so what's wrong with helping your brother a little? Besides, if Mom and Dad hadn't given you such a good name, would you have achieved what you have today? My mother's last words were spoken very softly, but they still reached my ears. The recent events had already caused me enough pain. Hearing this, I completely broke down. The 2 words, Yoon-hee, had erased all my efforts. The exam papers I stayed up late to complete, the proposals I wrote, all of it had become nourishment for those 2 words, Yoon-hee. Mom, do you truly believe my achievements are thanks to 2 words, Yoon-hee? My mother didn't reply. Sometimes, silence is more painful than blunt words. My mother knew her words would hurt me, but she didn't want to lie to comfort me. They all hate me, so don't blame me for making them uncomfortable. I said to my mother softly, as if everything had become clear. You're right, Mom. How could I be angry with my sister-in-law? How about this weekend we go out to eat? I'll apologize thoroughly to my brother. My mother happily instructed. Your sister-in-law mentioned she's never eaten at a Michelin restaurant. Book a table there. I found the highest-rated restaurant in the city and sent the address to my mother. This weekend, I might have to work overtime a bit. Everyone can order first. I'm afraid they might order too sparingly and it won't be effective. So I added a special instruction. Don't worry about the money, order freely. After all, I'm not the one paying. The next day, Seo-yeon took the whole family to the restaurant and sent me a photo of the 3 of them sitting at the table. My brother and sister-in-law's faces were cold in the picture, not a hint of a smile. Today, they were definitely going to teach me a lesson. If you don't agree to give up the name Yoon-hee, your brother and I will never want to see you again for the rest of our lives. Come here and apologize properly to your sister. 15 minutes later, she sent another photo. The table was piled high with food. French fries, cream soup, steak, Maryland chicken, orange snails, Mesa chicken, onion soup, ribeye steak, and fish soup. Each dish had been touched, a bite missing here, a spoonful gone there. Seo-yeon, when are you coming? Yoon-hee is hungry. Immediately, my phone rang. I glanced at my colleague working beside me and gestured for her to mute the entertainment show I was watching. Yoon-hee, change your name quickly. Just thinking about you taking my daughter's name makes me feel so unlucky. When are you coming here? The other party's impolite attitude didn't upset me. I smiled slightly and said, I'm so sorry, sister. I'm still working overtime. But I've already arranged for a delivery person to bring an apology gift. This gift is quite valuable, tens of millions of won. Seo-yeon's anger immediately vanished. When the delivery person arrived, the 3 of them had just finished eating, with only a bit of soup left on the table. Seo-yeon picked up her phone and texted me. Sister, we still left a lot of food. I'll pack it up for you later, okay? Oh, the total was 2 million won. Remember to transfer it to me. My brother noticed the delivery person, his face arrogant. Why so slow? I'll complain about you later. The delivery person handed the carefully prepared gift to my brother, then retreated to a safe distance. This is a gift from a customer, please sign here. My brother smugly opened the gift box, showing it off to the delivery person. Have you ever seen Maodai like this? Can your monthly salary even buy one? Then he eagerly opened the box. The contents had already been removed by me, leaving only a piece of paper with a list of girls' names. At the top was a handwritten line from me. Beautiful names are priceless. I gift you 1,000 names. This is my 100 million won gift to you. The delivery person, as per my instructions, said mechanically, Oh my, truly shameless. Even fighting over your sister's name. My brother and sister-in-law immediately began to flood me with messages, sending continuous 60-second voice clips. 60 seconds was WeChat's limit, but not theirs. Finally, I answered my mother's call, her voice full of cheer. Mom, the apology gift I gave my brother and sister-in-law, are they satisfied? If not, just tell them to come find me. I can create another 1,000 names. My brother snatched the phone from my mother, yelling, "What are you trying to do? Get over here and pay the bill, or I won't acknowledge you as my sister anymore." Chaos erupted on the other end of the line. I laughed loudly. "What? Not acknowledge me as your sister anymore? Wonderful. Finally, I'm an only child. Was the Michelin restaurant delicious? If it was, pay for it yourselves." I thought we would never speak to each other again, but unexpectedly, Seo-yeon actively gave me a bank card. "Sister, I've been so obsessed lately. I just want my niece to have good fortune later in life. There's 10 million won in the card, just spend it. As long as you're not angry anymore, it's fine even if you spend all of my and your brother's savings." This was a soft tactic, truly laughable. After 3 years of working, I had become a woman devoid of sentimentality. Did they think this small favor would buy my regret? Never. As for the card they gave me, of course, I accepted it. Money delivered directly into my hand, why wouldn't I pocket it? The next day, I went to work as usual. The only difference was that for lunch, I ordered takeout using Seo-yeon's card. One meal cost 300,000 won. After eating, I ordered an expensive latte macchiato. Immediately after I finished eating, a message from Seo-yeon arrived. "Sister, are you tired from work today? Why are you still eating takeout? Takeout isn't clean. Tomorrow, I'll ask Mom to cook and bring it to your office, okay?" She didn't mention money, but every sentence revolved around it. I smiled softly. "This takeout is from a very clean restaurant, sister. It's just a bit expensive. Thank you, sister-in-law, for helping me get a 300,000 won meal." From her messages, I could sense Seo-yeon's pain, and my joyful mood spread further. After work, I met up with my best friend to go shopping. First, I bought a jacket for 1 million won. Then I treated my friend to dinner at a Michelin restaurant. Just as I finished paying, my brother's phone rang. "Sister, do you need me to pick you up? I'm near the shopping mall where you're having dinner." I smiled brightly. "No need, brother. I still want to buy some more cosmetics." My friend drove me home. My brother and Seo-yeon looked pale but forced smiles to greet me. "Sister, you're home. Did you have fun today?" I nodded. "Lots of fun." Seo-yeon, beside him, couldn't help but interject sarcastically. "Oh, I'm sure it was fun. A 1 million won jacket, I've never even touched one before." My brother pulled her sleeve. "Seo-yeon, what she means is that young people like you should wear expensive clothes. Daughters should be raised in luxury." I cheerfully agreed. "Yes, I will." Seeing their ashen faces, I pretended to be sweet. "Brother, you won't be angry if I keep spending your and sister-in-law's money, right?" The next day, I ordered another $1,000 takeout meal and another expensive latte macchiato. This time, before I could even leave work, Seo-yeon called. "Sister, why are you still eating takeout today? I already told Mom to cook for you." I continued to feign innocence. "Oh, but I really craved this takeout today. Sister-in-law, you're not regretting the money, are you? Didn't you say I could spend this money freely?" I could almost hear the grinding of teeth on the other end and nodded in satisfaction. "Don't worry, I'll definitely spend it well." The line went silent. Perhaps they were afraid I would spend all their money. Seo-yeon spoke again. "A daughter should know how to save money. Being wasteful can make a husband dislike you." I chuckled softly. "I have a sister-in-law and a brother, I'm not afraid." When I hung up, I could feel the anger choking her, but I didn't care. As soon as work finished, I met up with my best friend to get my nails done. A luxurious set of nails, a collaboration with a high-end brand, each tiny diamond costing almost $1,000. After our manicures, my friend and I stopped by nearby designer stores. I found a familiar salesperson and immediately bought a handbag. Seeing the 18,000 won remaining balance on the card, I happily returned home. My mother, brother, and sister-in-law were sitting upright on the sofa, their faces gloomy. My mother immediately scolded me. "Every day you come home carrying so many things. Outsiders will think you're in some unclean profession. A daughter coming home this late, do you have no shame?" As soon as I stepped through the door, I proudly displayed my spoils. My mother was furious, her scolding uncompromising. My face hardened. Even if I have no shame, I wouldn't go as far as to steal my niece's name. Besides, this money was given to me by my sister-in-law, not yours, Mom. Why are you so worried? I didn't hesitate to expose the truth. My mother's face also fell. My brother and sister-in-law certainly wouldn't have been willing to give me so much money. This money was probably my mother's. First, they used money to apologize, making me feel guilty enough to give up my name. Then, my mother would cry, and the money would naturally return to their pockets. "Sister-in-law, can I spend this money?" My brother and Seo-yeon exchanged awkward glances, unable to say a word. Seo-yeon's expression changed, trying to trick me again. This money was my apology to you, sister. Spend it freely. But you should also consider Mom's feelings. Mom is just hard-mouthed but soft-hearted. She just doesn't want you to eat unclean takeout and wants you to come home early to spend more time with her. I nodded profusely, hugging my mother's neck. Yes, from now on I'll eat Mom's cooking and come home early to be with Mom. The three of them heard me say this and nodded in satisfaction. Seeing their relieved expressions, I spoke again. Brother, you treat me so well. When my niece is born, I'll definitely give you a beautiful gift. Hearing this, their eyes lit up. My mother stopped complaining and my brother stopped frowning. Seo-yeon sat down beside me, her eyes twinkling with a smile. Sister, I knew you were a sensible person. The next day, as soon as I arrived at the office, my mother's call came in. Daughter, you forgot to bring the lunch I cooked. I'll bring it to you, dear. Don't order takeout for lunch today. Oh, but I already made plans to eat with colleagues today, Mom. You just go ahead and have your lunch. Through the phone, I could sense my mother's awkwardness. What was the thoughtful meal my mother spoke of? She knew best. It was yesterday's leftovers, mixed together in a plastic container, placed on our table, what my family called lunch for me. If it were placed on the ground, it probably wouldn't even be fit for a dog. Next time, if you're eating with colleagues, you should try more of Mom's home-cooked dishes. What's so good about restaurant food? Mom, you're old-fashioned. The restaurant my colleagues and I booked is very famous. All the vegetables are fresh, just picked. I added, I'm going to eat now, no more talking. Without waiting for her reaction, I hung up. What I said wasn't entirely a lie. I really did have plans to eat with colleagues, but when I swiped my card to pay, it showed an error. Cannot use. They regretted the money, but this wasn't their decision. I pulled out my phone and called my brother. He waited until the last second to answer. Sister, the bank froze the card for some unknown reason. It should be fine in a while. Use your own card for now. I used my own card to pay first. Then, with an hour and a half left for lunch break, I dashed straight to the bank where my brother worked. My brother was a bank teller. As soon as I walked in, I yelled, "What right do you have to freeze my brother's card for no reason? If you don't resolve this fairly for my brother today, I'm not leaving." It was lunchtime, and there were no customers in the lobby. My shouts attracted all the staff who rushed over, surrounding me, eager to help me solve the problem. I recounted the incident, my voice filled with indignation. My brother's colleagues grew increasingly awkward as they listened. My brother tried to push his way through the crowd to usher me out, but his manager stopped him. The manager said coldly, "Madam, after checking, your card was frozen by the owner himself, Yang Jae-hoon, at 11:02 this morning. There was no unauthorized freezing of your account by our bank." I feigned weakness, a tear rolling down my cheek. "Brother, why? If you didn't want me to spend your money, you could have just said so. Why do this to me?" No, it's just..." My brother stammered, trying to comfort me, but couldn't offer a satisfactory explanation. The manager, uninterested in our family drama, said coldly, "Yang Jae-hoon, you spread false information about the bank. You are suspended for 1 week to reflect." At this moment, my brother was completely panicked. He grabbed the manager's arm, apologizing, but it was useless. There are no secrets in a bank. Tomorrow, the story of him fabricating a bank issue because he didn't want his sister to spend money would spread everywhere. My brother was a man who cared deeply about his reputation. He certainly couldn't accept this. Only my brother and I remained in the lobby. I decided to strike first. "Brother, so, is this card still usable?" The word "yes" was uttered, resolute, accompanied by the sound of grinding teeth. I transferred the lunch money to my own card. With 14,001 remaining on the card, I used it to buy many things for my unborn niece: a gold bracelet, a silver lock for safety, tiny clothes, baby shoes. After shopping, only 2,501 remained on the card. The three of them stood in front of the house, not even letting me in. They glared at me, waiting to unleash their anger. My mother was the first to attack. "Oh, you finally remembered the way home? I thought you'd forgot. Truly a family misfortune. A wicked daughter who spent 10 million won, not thinking of her mother at all. No wonder your sister-in-law said your name has good fortune, allowing you to study well and work well. Now, changing your name even earned you 10 million won." My mother grew angrier and angrier as she spoke, even trying to pounce on me and twist my ear. "You must return all that money to your brother." The angrier they got, the happier I felt. That's right, my fate is truly good, but my good fortune is self-made. I studied well because I diligently attended lectures and pulled all-nighters. I work well because I diligently interned, worked overtime, and wrote proposals. This name has good fortune because *** bear this name, not because the name itself brought me good fortune. Hearing this, all three of them looked a bit awkward. Yoon forced a smile. Sister, anyway, I consulted a fortune teller about your birth date, and combining it with this name, it truly is heaven-sent good fortune. I only did this out of love for you. Why don't you understand? My brother also chimed in. Sister, your sister-in-law and I have shown our sincerity. Just tell me what day you'll change your name, and I'll name my daughter soon. Seeing that the three of them still wouldn't give up on taking my name, I felt a terrible headache. Even if this name had good fortune, it had to suit the person bearing it. The baby's due date didn't even coincide with my birthday. Yoon grabbed my hand, smiling obsequiously. As long as you give up your name, your brother and I will take care of the rest. My birthday was in July, and my sister-in-law's due date was late September. There was almost a 3-month difference between the two dates. I looked into the determined eyes of the three of them and couldn't hold back anymore. Are you people crazy? The baby is only 7 months old and you already want to induce early labor. Don't you know premature babies are prone to weakness? My mother's eyes also showed a hint of disapproval, but the resolute determination in my brother's and sister-in-law's eyes frightened me. Yoon said calmly, if it's weak, we'll just take more care of it. The future blessings are the biggest gift I can give my child. Sister, next Tuesday, go change your name. Your niece is about to be born. It was late June, the weather was stifling, but I felt an extreme chill. No wonder, after the establishment of the nation, the eradication of superstition was implemented immediately. I said firmly, I will not change my name. Give up that idea. Their faces immediately turned ashen. My brother grabbed my collar, about to hit me. I thrust out my neck, utterly fearless. I have surveillance cameras. If you dare to hit me, I'll report you to your bank. Your superiors are already displeased with you. You don't want to lose your job, do you? The three of them couldn't do anything to me. Yoon could only resort to cursing me until she was exhausted. Then she demanded I return the money. You can curse me, but you can't get the money back. The money was given to me voluntarily by you. Why should I return it? Yoon put her hands on her hips and screamed, if you change your name, I won't ask for the money back. Taking money without doing the work, there's no such good thing. I smiled. Did I promise you? No. At that time, you and I were both angry. You arbitrarily gave me the money. According to human decency, yes, that's the intention. But I'm sorry, I'm a cruel, heartless person. The three of them couldn't do anything. In a fit of rage, they locked the door, not letting me into the house. They tried to use the family affection I craved most to force me into submission, but now I no longer craved it. I had money, I had time. Only those with nothing to do would crave their love. I took advantage of the time when the neighborhood grandmothers were dancing, sitting right in front of their speaker. Before long, the grandmothers in the front noticed my crying, looking at each other, wanting to gossip. My cries grew louder. The lead grandmother, unable to bear her curiosity, sat down beside me. Young woman from the Yang family, what's wrong? This question was like a drop of water in a hot pan. All the grandmothers crowded around. I cried as I spoke. It's nothing, aunties. I just made my mother and my brother and sister-in-law angry. Aunties, have you ever heard of a situation where an unborn grandchild makes an aunt change her name? The grandmothers looked at each other, their eyes full of eagerness. Your mother knew your sister-in-law was pregnant, so is it the baby in her belly? I nodded and recounted everything, from my sister-in-law's superstitions to the fight over my name. The grandmothers in front shook their heads, mumbling continuously. Feudal remnants. Nowadays, everyone is required to be scientific and eradicate superstition. Your sister-in-law mumbles to herself all day long in the house. It's scary to watch. Moreover, it's a great taboo for children and grandchildren to share names with their elders, likely to bring great misfortune. When such things happen, everyone tells the children and grandchildren to yield their names to the elders. There's no such thing as forcing an aunt to change ** her * name. Reaching the emotional part, I pinched my own thigh. If this name truly has good fortune, wouldn't I face great misfortune if I changed it? I cried, looking up. Aunties, what should I do? The surrounding grandmothers also thought this situation was outrageous. Even in their time, people believed in gods and spirits, but everyone had a certain ability to discern right from wrong. Such strange things were rare. One grandmother, a member of the neighborhood council, immediately said she would give my sister-in-law an effective 1-hour ideological education. News of my family's affairs spread throughout the neighborhood. I returned to my own apartment. My mother's message also arrived. You must return the money to your brother immediately. The day after tomorrow, go change your name. Finally, apologize to them thoroughly. Otherwise, from now on, I will not acknowledge you as my daughter. I happily agreed. Great, I also don't want to acknowledge you anymore. A gasping sound came from the other end of the line. She was probably too angry to speak. I quickly hung up and blocked all 3 of their phone numbers. Tomorrow, their glorious story would spread through the neighborhood. They would surely harass me. The next day after work, my phone showed 30 missed calls. How annoying. Why isn't there a feature to block people instead of just phone numbers? Seo-yeon's angry voice message blared. You just wait. I will definitely make you pay. I thought she was just talking tough, but I didn't expect her to actually instruct my brother to commit arson. I had money and connections, so of course, I wanted to run my own projects. My first project involved transporting goods. The cargo was high-quality timber. My brother, Jae-hoon, stuck a lit cigarette butt into the wood and it quickly caught fire. In less than 30 minutes, both the truck and the timber were engulfed in flames. When I received the news, my brother had already been restrained by my employees on the ground. Seo-yeon was also there, constantly arguing with them. Those goods belonged to my sister. We were just joking. Release my husband immediately, or I'll sue you for illegal detention and make sure you regret it. With that, she lunged at them, scratching and clawing. The young men's faces were covered in scratches, their veins throbbing with anger, but since she was pregnant, they dared not fight back. When they saw me appear, they looked as if they'd seen a savior. Yoon-hee, you're here. I nodded. Seo-yeon immediately protested. That's my daughter's name. You're not allowed to call her Yoon-hee. Seo-yeon was still speaking when I gave her a glance, and she fell silent. Yang Jae-hoon, recklessly discarding a cigarette butt, caused a fire, resulting in significant damages to my property. You must compensate me for all losses. Otherwise, I will take you to the police station. The truck and goods were worth 30 million won, but the timber and vehicle had been in inventory for a long time, so their actual value would be much lower. However, given Yang Jae-hoon's actions, he had to compensate me for all 30 million won of my losses. Seo-yeon, clutching her belly, angrily pointed at me. We don't have the money, we won't pay, he's your brother. Do you want to send him to jail? Let me tell you, you won't get a penny from me. Release my brother now, I have to give birth tomorrow. If we miss Yoon-hee's auspicious time, can you compensate for that? Seo-yeon hugged her belly and began to scream loudly. The young men in front didn't dare to get close. It wasn't until one of them moved behind her and restrained her that the situation finally calmed down. Seeing me preparing to take Yang Jae-hoon to the police station, she finally understood that inducing my brother to commit a crime was serious. Even though my brother and I were blood relatives, I finally concluded, if you don't compensate, your husband will go to jail. And the child in your belly won't be able to pass civil service exams later. Seo-yeon reluctantly transferred 30 million won to me, but 2 seconds later, she clutched her belly and screamed in pain. My gaze fell downwards. Blood was already flowing down between Seo-yeon's legs, forming large puddles on the ground, making my eyes sting. An ambulance quickly arrived at the scene, swiftly taking our family of 3 to the hospital. Doctors and nurses surrounded Seo-yeon, performing emergency procedures for a long time before someone came out to announce her condition. The pregnant woman is currently showing signs of premature labor. To ensure the safety of both mother and child, we must perform surgery immediately. This will provide maximum protection for both. Who is the family member? Please sign here. Inside the operating room, Seo-yeon was in so much pain that her screams were shattered. Ah, ah, ah. My brother was still standing frozen. I couldn't help but slap him across the face. Your wife is in pain in there. What are you standing there for? My brother clutched his face, his hands trembling as he picked up the pen to sign. Just as he finished writing his surname, he suddenly stopped and asked the nurse, Miss, can my wife wait until tomorrow for surgery? The nurse opposite him shook her head impatiently, refusing. The patient's condition is critical right now. Surgery must be performed as soon as possible. Please don't trifle with your wife's life. My brother's hand again wrote the character Jae. From his name, part of Don and Gon, likely the family name Don or Yang, he wrote. He still refused to give up, continuing to ask, It's only an hour until midnight now, is that not okay either? No. Seo-yeon's screams, initially full of agony, were now weaker. My brother ignored the nurse's increasingly dark expression, turned towards the operating room, and shouted, "Wife, hang in there. Our Yoon-hee will become a blessed person. Wife, you must try hard." With that, he placed the paper under his buttocks, looking at the nurse with an insolent expression. "I won't sign. I've seen the news. If no one signs, you can't perform surgery. My Yoon-hee must become a blessed person." Then he turned back and opened his phone to play a game. The nurse and I both stared in stunned silence at this situation. Seo-yeon's screams gradually became fainter, but they were gentle, as if pressed against my ear. "Ah, it hurts so much?" I pushed Yang Jae-hoon aside and told the nurse, "I am the pregnant woman's sister. I will sign." The nurse quickly handed me the paper. Yang Jae-hoon immediately stopped me. He hid the paper under his buttocks again, screaming towards Seo-yeon, "Wife, do you want to have surgery now? If Yoon-hee is born now, she won't have blessings later. My poor Yoon-hee, destined to be a beast of burden her whole life." I yelled loudly. "At this point, are you still so superstitious?" My brother blocked me and the nurse. The situation immediately reached an impasse. Until Seo-yeon in the operating room screamed loudly, "Yang Jae-hoon, tell your sister to get lost. I want my Yoon-hee to be a blessed child." Yang Jae-hoon and I stopped, turned, and left. Good advice is hard to give to those who want to die. Seo-yeon didn't cherish herself. Why should I worry for her? After that, my mother told me what happened. Seo-yeon and Yang Jae-hoon, in order to have the baby born at an auspicious time, had taken forbidden labor-inducing drugs a week prior. Coupled with intentionally delaying the surgery for an hour, the baby in Seo-yeon's womb suffered from oxygen deprivation. The moment the baby was born, she had to be placed in the intensive care unit. My mother wiped away tears, grasping my hand. "A healthy baby is now sick." The doctor said that even if she's lucky enough to survive, she might face complications later. "What will your sister-in-law and brother do?" "My poor baby." My mother then changed her tone. "Daughter, your brother and sister-in-law are truly pitiful now. They're spending money like water. You should help your brother a little." I pulled my hand away from my mother. "It has nothing to do with me. How many times did the nurse say it? My brother deliberately delayed it for an auspicious time." Isn't this exactly what they wanted? Seeing that she couldn't persuade me, my mother took the pot of soup from the kitchen to care for Seo-yeon. The entire pot of soup was poured into a thermos. From beginning to end, my mother didn't ask me once, "Do you want some?" My mother carried the thermos out of the house. I also picked up my luggage and left. From the moment Seo-yeon suggested I change my name, I had secretly requested a transfer at work. Now, the final notification had arrived. The next time I heard news from my family was from a police call. When I arrived at the police station, I learned that too much had happened in the short span of 2 months. Seo-yeon, due to her child's unstable health and my mother's constant nagging, had developed postpartum depression. Seo-yeon didn't know who told her that a family could only have a limited number of people. Her child's condition continued to worsen, and doctors had issued many critical notices. In my mother's reproaches, Seo-yeon blamed the cause of her child's illness on my mother, believing that my mother had taken her child's place. She used a pillow to cover my mother's mouth while she slept, causing my mother's death. When she discovered my mother had stopped breathing, Seo-yeon also fainted. My niece that day struggled to breathe, but no one was there to care for her. She passed away on the same day as my mother. Currently, Seo-yeon was under police control. My brother and I went to the police station to handle the aftermath. After psychiatric evaluation, Seo-yeon was deemed mentally unstable at the time of the murder, so the law could not convict her. My brother could only take her home. Seo-yeon sat opposite my brother and me, her face expressionless, stiff as a doll. My brother screamed at Seo-yeon, full of despair. "It's all because of your superstition. You couldn't borrow good fortune, and now the whole family has suffered a great calamity." He took a deep breath, forced a smile. "Sister, actually, your sister-in-law still has a name she hasn't written down here." Until my brother had emptied all his emotions, he leaned close to Seo-yeon, not knowing what to say. My brother was very upset but still took me outside, wanting to speak privately with Seo-yeon. I slowly walked away, uneasily looking back at them. Seo-yeon slowly approached my brother. From her pocket, she took out a small vial and quickly poured it into my brother's mouth. To prevent my brother from spitting it out, she tightly covered his nose, forcing him to swallow. After she finished, she turned and looked at me, smiling. My brother, having swallowed the liquid, was enraged, wanting to grab Seo-yeon's hair. "You bitch, what did you make me drink?" I looked at Seo-yeon, who finally showed her first smile since we'd reunited. "Weed killer. Yang Jae-hoon, let's go to hell together." My brother, having consumed a lethal dose, passed away after 30 days of emergency treatment. In those 30 days, he endured the greatest pain of his life. Under the effects of the poison, he felt his internal organs rot from within, little by little, struggling, little by little, dying. Yoon, at the time of the poisoning, was not in a state of illness and also faced legal punishment. Watching each of them receive their retribution, I couldn't help but sigh. Never put your destiny in the hands of anyone or anything. The ancients said, giving a child 1,000 gold is not as good as teaching them a skill. Teaching them a skill is not as good as giving them a good name. But a name influences a person because it is repeated many times, and the information it contains, through conscious thought, becomes subconscious, ultimately guiding one's life. It contains a parent's hopes for their child, not that a name can bring a lifetime of good fortune. A name is merely a symbol. The true master of destiny lies in the heart.